Your grocery bill went up again this month, and it will go up again next month, and nobody in Washington is coming to fix that for you. But here is what they are not telling you. Millions of everyday families are quietly turning to their kitchens and porches, using simple household items to grow their own food and slash their expenses. If you look closely at the soil beneath your feet or the waste in your trash bin, you will discover that nature has already provided everything you need to cultivate abundance. You do not need expensive commercial chemicals, a massive backyard, or a degree in agriculture to create a thriving, pest-free paradise. Today, we are unlocking the incredible power of home remedies that turn standard household staples into gold for your plants, ensuring your kitchen pots and sprawling fields flourish alike. Before we dive deep into these hidden backyard secrets, I want to warmly invite you to join our growing global family by subscribing to the channel. We gather here every week to share honest, practical wisdom that saves you money and puts control back into your hands. Once you have hit that button, please take a moment to drop your city, village, district, or country down in the comments below. It is truly beautiful to see gardeners and farmers from every corner of the world connecting here, and knowing your location helps me understand exactly where our community is growing and thriving together. Let us begin with a common household staple that most people only think of when they are baking a cake or cleaning a refrigerator, and that is simple baking soda. Tucked away in your kitchen pantry, this inexpensive white powder is a powerhouse for combating fungal diseases like powdery mildew, which leaves a ghostly white dust across the deep green leaves of your squash, cucumbers, and tomatoes. The science here is beautifully simple because baking soda creates an alkaline environment on the leaf surface, completely disrupting the acidic conditions that fungal spores need to attach and multiply. To prepare this natural shield, dissolve 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of a mild liquid dish soap into 1 gallon of clean water. The soap acts as a surfactant, ensuring the mixture clings to the slippery leaves instead of just rolling off into the dirt. For a home gardener tending a few balcony pots, a standard hand pump spray bottle is perfect. But if you are a medium-scale farmer looking to protect an entire acre of crops, you can easily scale this ratio up for a large backpack sprayer. Mist your plants thoroughly, ensuring you coat both the tops and the vulnerable undersides of the leaves. The best time to apply this is early in the morning before the sun gets too high, or late in the evening when the air cools down, repeating the process every 10 to 14 days, or immediately after a heavy rain. But here is where it gets really interesting, because you can pair that fungal protection with a brilliant pest remedy, using something you normally throw straight into the trash after breakfast. And those are old coffee grounds. Most households discard cups of these damp, dark grounds every morning without realizing they are sitting on a goldmine of nitrogen, magnesium, and natural pest repellents. The rich, earthy smell of freshly brewed coffee might comfort you, but to crawling pests like slugs and snails, it is an absolute nightmare because the abrasive texture of the dried grounds irritates their soft bodies, and the residual caffeine acts as a natural toxin to them. To use this in your garden, simply spread your used coffee grounds onto an old baking sheet or newspaper and let them dry completely in the sun until they feel rough and crumbly to the touch. For home gardeners and backyard growers, you can take handfuls of these dry grounds and sprinkle them in a thick protective ring directly around the base of your favorite hostas, lettuces, or container citrus trees. If you are a farmer managing larger plots, you can broadcast the grounds lightly over entire rows, or mix them directly into your compost piles to boost the nutrient profile of your topsoil. Apply this protective barrier once a month during the active growing season, ideally on a clear day when the soil is relatively dry. So the grounds create a crisp, impassable border that stops pests right in their tracks. Your grandmother probably knew this next one. But somehow it got forgotten along the way, and it involves a common medicine cabinet item that costs next to nothing: plain aspirin tablets. You can find these unflavored, uncoated tablets in any household first aid kit or local pharmacy. While we use aspirin to soothe a headache, plants respond to its active ingredient, salicylic acid, by kicking their natural immune systems into overdrive. In the wild, when a plant is attacked by a pest or a disease, it naturally produces tiny amounts of salicylic acid to signal its surrounding tissues to toughen up and fight back. By introducing this compound early, you are essentially vaccinating your garden against future stress, resulting in thicker stems and highly resilient root systems. To prepare this immune booster, crush one standard 325 mg aspirin tablet into a fine powder and dissolve it thoroughly into 1 gallon of lukewarm water. Home gardeners can pour this solution straight into a watering can to drench the soil around container plants and kitchen herbs, while small farmers can scale up the mixture to irrigate entire rows of freshly transplanted crops. For the absolute best results, soak your plants with this aspirin water once every 3 weeks during the spring and early summer when the plants are experiencing rapid growth, applying it in the cool evening hours so the roots can peacefully drink it in without the stress of the midday heat. Now, you might think that covers the basics, but most people throw away another incredible resource every time they boil a pot of eggs for dinner, and that is the leftover cooking water and the shells. Eggshells are packed with calcium carbonate, a vital nutrient that prevents devastating conditions like blossom end rot in tomatoes and peppers, where the bottom of the fruit turns into a dark, sunken, leathery mess. The logic is simple, as a lack of calcium weakens the cell walls of the plant, causing the fruit to collapse as it expands. To harness this household remedy, save your empty eggshells, rinse them clean, and let them dry until they are perfectly brittle. Grind them in a blender, or crush them with a rolling pin until they form a coarse powder. Then steep that powder in your boiling egg water overnight to leach the calcium into the liquid. Home gardeners can pour this cooled, nutrient-rich water directly onto the soil of their container pots, pushing the crushed shells into the earth around the plant base. Farmers can collect shells on a larger scale from local bakeries or restaurants, crushing them to broadcast over large fields before tilling the earth. This slow-release calcium treatment should be done right at the beginning of the planting season, and then repeated once a month as the first flowers begin to bloom, ensuring your soil remains rich and supportive throughout the heavy fruiting months. As we move forward, there is a legendary kitchen secret that handles stubborn, soft-bodied insects like aphids, mites, and whiteflies without introducing a single drop of synthetic chemicals to your land, and it relies entirely on fresh garlic cloves. You can grab a few heads of garlic right from your kitchen counter or pantry basket. The intense, pungent sulfur compounds that give garlic its signature aroma act as a powerful natural repellent and contact insecticide, disrupting the feeding and mating habits of destructive bugs while remaining completely safe for humans and pets. To make a potent garlic spray, chop or crush one entire head of garlic and steep it in 2 cups of hot water for at least 24 hours to create a highly concentrated extract. Strain the liquid through a fine cloth to remove any pulp. Then mix that garlic concentrate with 1 gallon of water and a teaspoon of mild dish soap to help it stick. Home gardeners can use a simple spray bottle to target the tender new growth of their balcony roses or kitchen chili plants where aphids love to hide. For medium-scale farmers, this concentrated extract can be brewed in large barrels and applied across acres of vegetables using standard crop sprayers. Apply this aromatic shield once a week during high pest seasons, always choosing the early morning hours before the sun intensifies, so the spray can dry naturally without scorching the deep green leaves. If you have watched this far, and you are still not subscribed to this channel, I genuinely want you to think about what you are missing out on. This channel is completely dedicated to helping families, backyard gardeners, and hardworking farmers find real, affordable ways to grow their own food without being dependent on expensive, commercial products. We break down the real science of traditional wisdom so you can achieve professional results on a household budget. Hit that subscribe button right now, turn on your notifications, and let us keep moving forward together, because we have more incredible wisdom to cover. Speaking of old-school remedies that have stood the test of time, let us talk about a soothing bath product that doubles as a magnificent garden supplement, Epsom salts. You can find a bag of these crystalline salts sitting in almost every bathroom closet or local grocery store. Despite the name, Epsom salt is not actually salt at all, but rather a naturally occurring mineral compound of magnesium and sulfate. Magnesium is the central atom in the chlorophyll molecule, which means it is absolutely essential for photosynthesis and gives your plants that rich, dark green color we all love to see. It also helps the plant absorb other vital nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen more efficiently. To create a mineral drench, dissolve 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts into 1 gallon of water, stirring until the crystals completely disappear into the liquid. Home gardeners can apply this directly as a foliar spray to their container peppers, tomatoes, and citrus trees, watching the leaves transform into a vibrant green within days. Small-scale farmers can introduce this magnesium boost into their drip irrigation systems to nourish entire fields of crops uniformly. The ideal time to apply this treatment is once a month, just as the plants begin to flower, running the water early in the morning, so the plants can process the nutrients throughout the sunny day. Let us transition to another incredibly powerful household cleaner that doubles as a fantastic tool for managing soil health and discouraging fungal growth: ordinary white vinegar. Found in almost every kitchen cupboard, this clear liquid is highly acidic, containing acetic acid, which can be used strategically to alter environments or clear away unwanted weeds. While undiluted vinegar is a potent natural weed killer, a highly diluted version works wonders at refreshing the soil for acid-loving plants like blueberries, hydrangeas, and gardenias. To use it safely without shocking your plants, mix just 1 tablespoon of white vinegar into 1 gallon of water. Home gardeners can use this mild solution once a month to water their potted acid-loving shrubs, keeping the soil pH in that perfect sweet spot. For farmers dealing with alkaline soil patches across their fields, this dilution can be used to treat specific rows before planting sensitive crops. Always apply this mixture directly to the soil, never on the leaves, during a routine morning watering session, so the earth can absorb it gently. When you look at everything we have shared, from the crisp crunch of dry eggshells to the rich aroma of garlic infusions, you begin to realize that the power to cultivate a beautiful, productive landscape is already right inside your home. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey and subscribing to the channel to help our community grow. Whether you are watching this from a high-rise apartment balcony with a few cherished pots, or from the middle of a vast farming field with rows stretching to the horizon, please remember that this space is built entirely for you. Next week, we are diving into a spectacular secret involving household milk that will completely change how you protect your plants from seasonal blights. So make sure your notifications are on and you are ready. Now, go step outside, feel the warmth of